about, facing our fears, it does take courage. And it takes courage, but it also takes the right people to be around you. And going into the new world and having the right people around you in the right vibration into this new world that we are all stepping into is really going to help us to be able to face our fears. So thank you so much for sharing that. And the public speaking, it's just coming natural now. That's it. Now we'll have to find you another fear to work on together. And that brings me to somebody else who I would say, he may not say, but I would say he's just fearless, because Michael is a divine friend and he has been for many years. And he has been through so much with his family and his children, his little Spartan, which he can share with us. But also he just seems a fighter. There's always inspiration behind him. He's always got hope. And as well as working and helping other people build their businesses with his marketing, it's not so much about that. It's what he has inside and the way that he's really trying to inspire others with his story. So Michael, I love you so much, and I now give you your 8 minutes, my friends.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Vikki. What an amazing show, by the way. I think you're doing an excellent job, you and the team. So yeah, I'm going to tell you about my story. I want to talk about embracing the struggle to find your strength. And as Vikki mentioned, my little Spartan, my son, that's where I found my strength, through my son. For many, many years, I was sleepwalking. I worked very hard in my life in many, many areas, through different struggles, the normal struggles that you tend to go through in life. But I never, ever imagined that what happened to me and my family could happen to me and my family. And most of us don't. In fact, when something bad happens, we think that's as bad as it can get. You just don't want to think the worst, or don't expect the worst. But we had a snowball of things, and 8 minutes isn't enough. So I'm going to go through something I learned about finding and embracing the struggle within the pain to find your strength. And I found that through my son, who I call my little Spartan. I wrote a book on it, even though I'm dyslexic, called My Little Spartan. And, I believe every person here watching this on replay or live has an inner Spartan. And okay, I come from a Greek origin, but it's not about the Spartans. It's about an inner warrior, a strength within us. My wife's got it. My children have got it. We've all got it. And sometimes you need a slap across the face, an awakening, something to really open your eyes and realize where you are and what's been going on in your life before was not really real. It wasn't, you weren't in touch. I wasn't in touch with the world. I thought I was going through society like every normal person does, but I never, ever, ever really embraced society and life and enjoyed it enough. I thought I did, but until something really bad happens, you start to appreciate even the smallest of things. Just a quick lowdown on what happened to my son. My son was born fully able, completely gorgeous little boy. We called him Vasily. That means king in Greek. And he truly was a king. And ironically, his name in the book called My Little Spartan came about at birth, where he was born and he had strong neck muscles. The midwife in the room said, "Oh my God, he's a little Spartan," knowing that we're Greek. I said, "Yeah, he's my little Spartan," and it stuck there before he was made disabled. He was negligently, sadly, made disabled. And for me and my faith, I truly believe that you have to forgive. I've never been one of these people that goes to church every day or anything like that, or throws it in people's faces. I believe in energy and vibes, and I believe in all sorts of very open-minded person. But I never thought this could happen to us. Long story short, some mistakes happened after he was born healthy, and it made national newspapers. It was everywhere. And he was left blind, deaf, spastic cerebral palsy, non-verbal, literally lost everything but taste and touch. Actually, he can touch, but he can't control his body. He can't talk. He couldn't see or hear. He lost everything. And one thing I've learned over the 8 years, he's 8 years old now, is that he's taught me by embracing the struggle, you can find your strength. And I'll give you a little example of that. My son, he is in pain most times of the day, In fact, in the early years, he would have blood screaming screams throughout the night, and we barely slept. They literally still haunt me. The cries, they haunt me, and because we couldn't control them. That's the worst part of it, that you can't control them. But the love and dedication that my wife and I chose to dedicate to him allowed him to grow. And we embraced the struggle to find our strength. And that's how the book came about. So I wrote a little poem. I just want to go through this poem. And it's about my son who's gone through this and what he feels, because he's had different carers, including ourselves, and he can sense when people care, whether it's a job or not. And this poem I wrote is poignant to how we should all see and not judge people. And I just want to let you know, the way to win is to give in. So to give in, you win. And that sounds strange and contradictory, but there's a nuance in that. When you meet adversity, you have to lay back and understand that you have got the control from that point. And the way you move forward from that point is to give in and accept where you are and how you're going to move forward from that point. The key is how you move forward from that point. Jordan Peterson, great philosopher, speaker. He talks about shrinking your timeline to tolerate the pain. Again, in business, in everything, I had to shrink my timeline. I could not, even if I wanted to, plan ahead, because we just didn't know what was going to happen. So you have to shrink your timeline. You can only deal with the now and here daily. And at the early years, when I was very, very confused and very, very in pain, I used to think of the future, and I just see everything in the worst light, because you're just looking ahead, you can't predict it, and that's all I do. So this little poem, I'm just going to quickly tell you about it, because I think it sums up what he goes through, but also his strength and how he sees things, even though people judge him and think he's just trapped and disabled. Okay, so it's called Senses. Alone I feel at time, my heart aches with fear, my own cries of pain that even I struggle to hear. I may have less body senses, but I am far from lost. I can sense real people's love and those with hearts of frost. It's easy to ignore me as I lay there lost and contorted. Some people feel my disability as a burden, a life that's unsorted. Listen to me intensely as I share something I know. Shh, don't tell everybody, my communications are starting to show. And as I morph into someone I will be proud of, I'll tell you a secret, something I've learned. I will tell you how I feel. Don't worry, my bridges won't be burnt. There is no need to judge or dislike those who mock me. It's not how I roll. I will just watch you quietly and listen to your soul. One day you will realize something really special, something only I know. When you face life's hardship, this secret will show. Keep swimming hard, the choppy waters are deep. Keep swimming hard, the choppy waters are deep. And when you reach the land, the gradient is steep. Keep in your mind that boy that you know whilst you're wading through that deep, hard snow. I won't be here forever, so don't forget what I want you to see. I'm a Spartan, that's what my daddy calls me. I just want you to help others. That is all my legacy can be. Keep loving each other and keep me in your mind. Don't complain, carry on in vain, and not allowing yourself to go blind. You see, everything in life is timed. Poem by me, Michael Kalisperas. And the time thing is the key thing here. To embrace your struggle, you've got to actually embrace everything in time. Like Jordan Peterson talks about shrinking your time to tolerate it. You've got to do that. If you look ahead too much, you can't. So if there's any nugget from what I've gone through, and there's a lot more, there was sadly had cancer scares, and my father-in-law tried to commit suicide, and there's all sorts of stuff that's happened that you guys do not need to hear, because the reality is you can get through anything and do anything. It's also what made me get into marketing, because when I was trapped in hospital, I realized I had to do something for my business. And actually magnetic marketing is where my business came about, where creating an automated system to attract clients was the way forward for my business. Whilst I was in hospital, I could do that. So I literally learned that I could do anything I wanted. Maybe it's slower than most people, but I could do anything I wanted because I embraced the pain to find my strength. And I allowed time to be judged by me, and I allowed myself to actually not be stressed about things and to do things in certain other people's time frame.
Embrace the change and the power of strength. Let's write that down. Embrace the strength, embrace the pain and the power of strength. You know, I love stories, and Michael, thank you so much for sharing that.